tervist, mina olen Kino Artis taga. Enne kui filmiga alustame, Eesti dokfilmi õhtuga, filmiga Viimane, reliikvia. Need kaks pealkirja on äravahetamise sarnased, siis on kindlasti üks küsimusi Mariannale, enne kui ma ta meeskonnaga ette kutsun, et miks on selline pealkiri ja miks tekib segadus, nagu mul praegu tekkis. Aga enne kui filmiga alustame, palungi teie ette filmi režissöör, stsenarist, produtsent Marianna Kaat ja tema meeskond, keda Marianna teile tutvustab. Vestlus toimub inglise keeles, sest meil on rahvusvaheline meeskond. Kas on saalis keegi, kes ei oska inglise keelt?
Kes vajab tõlkimist?
Ole. On väga tore. Aga Marianna, palun, tutvusta meile oma meeskond.
Oodake, kui te nüüd kuulete neid aktsente, siis on võib-olla mõtlet ümber.
Jah, tere. Väga rõõm teid näha. Sellisel palaval ilmal, et tulid ikkagi siia. See on suur märk. Ma siis hakkan tutvustama oma meeskonda. Mul on ülimalt hea meel, et nad said tulla Eesti esilinastusele siia. Ja siis hakkan niimoodi, et esimesena ma kutsun filmioperaatorid. Ta on tulnud Poolast, Kacper Czubak. Ja siis on inimene, kellega me monteerisime väga pikalt seda filmi ja tema on Taanist, Jesper Osmund. Ja kolmas inimene, kes on siin, temaga me tegime helindamist, ehk siis kui film oli monteeritud, siis me tegelesime heliga ja te kuulete, see on suurepärane heli. Ja tema on tegelikult mehhiklane, aga ta elab Tallinnas. Come here, Israel Bañuelos.
Let's switch to English. The movie premiered in Estonia yesterday. The world premiere was at Canada's Hot Dogs Film Festival. How was the reception at the International Film Festival?
The reception was great because this is the Hot Dogs Film Festival is the biggest North American documentary film festival. So they are really picking very good films. And the last Relic, our film, was in the competition, International Spectrum, which means that they picked up only 10 films from all over the world, the best ones. We didn't win the award, but it doesn't matter because we had 2 screenings, all full house. The audience was very, very active because they really, I think they developed together with the festival because festival was celebrating this year 30 years anniversary. And I think that this audience were really developing with this festival. They are very, very intelligent. They ask very, very cute questions. To some of them it's very hard even to answer because they need more time, and you have always like limited time after the screening Q&As. So I'm very, very happy, but the only thing which make me really, really bad to feel because I missed my crew. Only Israel was with me, but Jesper and Kacper couldn't come. So that's why I'm so happy that they
first time we're all together.
Yeah, we're all together.
Yeah.
Because some of them, they only, during the production, they only communicate through online, so they never met. You didn't met.
No,
never met.
Exactly. Never. Israel, I know neither. During
so
production,
that's the place where we're really united. So we are happy.
When did the project get off the ground and how did you find these wonderful people to work with on this documentary?
When I started to think to make this film, it's a very long story. We don't have time for that, but let's say that looking I even didn't start it. So I went there just for the search in 2015. 16 to the city called Yekaterinburg, which is situated in the middle of Russia. Although I was already before that, I was working on another project as a producer for one Russian director and wanted to make a film about the mayor of Yekaterinburg, Evgeny Roizman, who actually right now has big problems there. But then when I meet him and talked with him, I understood that will be not enough material for making a feature-long film. But I like so much Yekaterinburg and the environment and the people that I thought that it would have the potential to have a bigger film, So, and I wanted to make sort of a portrait of contemporary Russia before the war. So then I started to think, okay, I have a dream, and I want to work with a Polish cinematographer because I really liked all Polish documentary films. I think they are absolutely amazing, and how they filmed, they are amazing. And then I had one contact, but he wasn't able to come with me this time. And then I made research, And then I looked at Kacper's website, or how it's called. You have website. And I like his images, That is the guy with whom I want to work. And actually, and he agreed. And when we went for the first time, I didn't know what kind of person he is, And I was quite afraid in this because it's so important when you're doing documentaries such a long time, So you really have to have a good relations. It's like a family, a second family also. Families at home waiting for, but it was important. It's very important that you also do understand each other. And it appeared that I was so lucky because Kacper is such a fantastic person that we really enjoyed working together and we really understood each other, I hope, right?
Yes, we did.
So that was this cinematography part. So I'm absolutely happy that he was working with my project and what we had at the end. Then when we reached in the process the editing, I wanted to work with Danish editor because I like Danish documentaries, especially how they are shaped in the editing. And then
I can do that story. I received an email one morning. It's my name is Marianna Kaat. I happened to see a film of yours on television last night. I need to talk to you. And then she sent a trailer. That was basically it. And I was blown away by the trailer. My problem was I didn't know who Marianna Kaat was. So I called a friend producer who has quite a big international network. So I asked him. I said, Ove, who the fuck is Marianna Kaat? She sent me an email, but I really like the trailer. Is amazing, but I don't know what this film can be. I don't know anything. He said, right here, Jesper. She's the best. She's the best. And then that was the beginning of like a 3 years, almost 4 years journey because of the epidemic or pandemic or all that. It was a terrible long process, but fruitful in so many other matters. And I learned a lot from Mrs. Professora Documentaries. So that was the story.
We both learned. We both learned, really. But it was amazing cooperation. If I would have money, I would edit the film until the end of my life with you. So it's I can do it. It was so amazing. It's so. Just interesting. It's really. Thank you very much.
So it took 3 years because you enjoyed your
Absolutely,
companion.
yeah. We didn't want to finish. Yes, we just wanted to go.
No, but there is this story that we started editing in the beginning of March 2019.
Yeah, we had.
Yes, we had 3 days together. We didn't know each other. I didn't know much about Marianna's work, and Marianna had just seen a poor football film of mine on Estonian television. That was all. And it takes a long time to get into this collaboration, especially with such a magnitude of a film that was in your mind at that point in time. We had 3 days. I go back to Copenhagen for a little vacation, or a holiday, weekend, and the Monday after, everything was closed. And
it was in 2020, March 2020.
2020, of course. We couldn't see each other anymore.
Yeah.
And we had to start this very intense, intimate relationship
Online.
on WhatsApp, basically. Very, very hard.
It was hard. It didn't work, let's say. It didn't work at all.
But you were patient.
Yeah, I was patient. I was waiting probably for the changes in Russia, you know.
You were waiting for the changes in me, honey.
Okay. So, and then when we edited already, I didn't have any problem with sound design because Israel was already connected to the fundraising trailers I made, so he knew my project, and I absolutely was sure that he should do also sound design. So that was very easy, let's say. We already knew each other, and then he lives in Tallinn, so there was no obstacles with that. So that's I'm also very happy that Israel also was working on my project.
Given the subject of the movie, how dangerous was it to film in Russia, and how complicated are the lives of the cast of the movie right now?
You know, when I watch the film now and thinking, you know, because some things you forgot, you know, already, but then I think, oh, how we could manage that in a way. There are really very exceptional places where we had to film, and I think this is my part of my being producer, how I organize, you know, the things, and how I negotiate, you know, because you need to negotiate. People in Russia were sometimes scared. Well, they didn't have anything against that we filmed them, but they needed some upper bureaucrat to confirm it, you know. So sometimes we needed to write letters, official letters. But then at the end we get the permissions, but you just had to wait until the last moment, you know, and then something positive happened. So I think that, well, it was complicated, but we did it.
You always get your permissions.
I always get my permissions, yes. And the other question, what the characters?
The characters of the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil it right now because we have this text at the end of the film. What's happening with them now? So they are quite on the date, you know. So it's the same happening. It's nothing new happening there, but you will read it when you reach the end of the film.
Was there a moment during the shooting in Ekaterinburg that you thought maybe we can't come back, we can't finish the movie?
Actually, I think there was several, and my main fear was that if we will be arrested, we are foreigners together with Kacper, because others, we had a crew also, local crew, like sound recorder and assistant to cameraman, and like fixer, also driver. They were local, but I was several times thinking, if we will be arrested, the worst thing can happen. They will just cancel our visas and we will not come back anymore, you know. And that means that I will lose my film, because it is not ended, you know, still needs filming. That was probably the only fear for me, like real fear. But we sort of managed, and everything was fine at the end.
Given the joke I made at the beginning, given this serious subject, I have to ask, why is the movie called The Last Relic, or Viimane reliikvia? Viimane reliikvia.
Yeah.
Why is it called it that way?
Yeah. When I started to film, it was like a working title first. And my initial idea was, because I started to think about it in 2016, and in 2018, it was the 100 years anniversary of killing the last Russian Tsar, who was killed with his family in Ekaterinburg, and they were preparing for this kind of event, you know. And I first think that I will be focused on this story, mostly about the remains of Tsar family and why Russian church is not accepting them, and this kind of things. And then it appeared that it's such a complicated story that it can be told only like in a journalistic style, that you have explain everything with a narration, with voiceover, with facts, whatever. That was not my story, So when I realized that, I went like in different direction. Although the story is still there inside of our film, but then every time I was checking, does this title still is working or not? And when we reached the ending, we were thinking even about the other title.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were struggling with that, but we didn't find anything better.
No, we had like 22 or something. I think, and a big piece of paper at one point in time.
The problem is that at this moment or this time, ChatGPT didn't work yet.
No,
That I think that was the main problem for us.
maybe there is a better title somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we would ask right today, probably we'll find the better. But it stays. And then actually at Hot Dogs in Toronto, there were also this kind of questions, and I asked, "What do you think?" So, and the guy who asked this question, he said, "I think this is Putin," he said, and so it's okay for me. I mean, so I think that everyone can decide themselves why this is the title, but I think it's still working.
Very optimistic.
Yeah, I'm going to confuse the titles in Estonian anyway in the future.
But sorry to interrupt you, but at the same time, every time I have made several interviews already in Estonia now, and there were like confusions with that, and everyone asked over that. So, but then it's also you remember that okay, this is trouble title, but it's somehow the audience will remember it.
What are some of the peculiarities of filming in Russia? If someone in your neighborhood wants to shoot in Russia, not right now, but maybe in the past, what are some of the things they have to keep in mind?
When they want to film in Russia?
In the past, yeah, because right now it's
before the war.
Impossible. Yes.
Well, I think you still need to know language, right? Or not? If you're a director, no, you were filming, so you didn't need it. But I mean, for making or establishing the relation with your character, I think you need. I can't imagine that you can, because for example, for me, I can't go for China and start to film. I will not feel this connection with the person if I don't know Chinese language or Mandarin language. So I think this is important, and the other thing is empathy, but it's for every documentary film. You really have to like your characters. I adore them. I really like everyone, even Sorokin.
Yes?
Yes, exactly. So you will...
The man with the world's longest title.
Yeah. So I see them as characters, in a way, as characters of my story, and I like it's. Can you imagine that the writer is writing a novel, and then this I don't like, and this I like, and then he so you have to like all of them. So I like all of them, and I think this helps
even
also
the
because
judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to, because on this base you can build a trust with your characters. I'm sure they like me also. So this is like this kind of things.
We are going to have to finish, but one last question. What do you hope the movie will achieve?
Can you answer this question?
I can.
Yeah.
I mean, what is important for me after this shoot and with today's context of the war in Ukraine is that it's very much like uplifting for me that there are some people in Russia that are still fighting for the freedom. So there is hope. And this is what I get from this film. I hope they will, one day they will manage to make him the last relic.
Spoiler.
I think it will go into history, the film, because it shows a very unique, some very unique years where nobody was looking for what Marianna was beginning to look for. Because when she came to the project, to me, she basically told me, and that was in 2018, what happened in 2022. And that was why she was doing the film, and we were trying to hurry up to finish it because she was afraid that the present time would kind of get in front of the film. So if this in any way is happening a little bit, the film will show its value and its importance in a couple of years. Israel.
Well, it's a tricky question.
Yes.
But I think I'm on the same. This is something I've been thinking about. It's on the same line as Kacper said. That hopefully we can see this. That there's still some hope that this very huge weight of this dictatorship, basically, that is spreading all around, hopefully will be destroyed at some point. And I think seeing that through the characters, that's what I hope that people can get also.
Thank you. We have one friend of mine, or friend of my son's. He already watched the film once, but he was his girlfriend. So and he watched it, but he had questions last time, and he was shy to ask them. Can we give him a?
Yeah, you can ask the question. Do you want the microphone?
I think it's fine. I'm even more shy right now. No, I wanted to ask something that is in the film, but it would be kind of like a spoiler. I apologize, but it's tiny thing. So there is this part that there is one guy goes into under the sewer, and then
Don't spoil it. So what is the question?
that is the question. I'm really curious about him. Like, is there any information about him?
Right now, what's happening with him?
Yeah, or like during the time, how did you discover him, or like?
He was actually the first whom I discovered. I have even a fantastic video which I filmed with small camera without sound recorder. He was a beggar. We are talking about beggar on the
Almost blind.
almost blind on the stairs of the church. So we will see him in the film several times. And actually, he was one of the first when I started to film something around the church. He was the first whom I filmed with small camera. We couldn't use this material because it's totally technically in different way filmed. But I like him very much. Unfortunately, he drank so much that when we came later, it was quite a problem to film him. Even we sometimes canceled even our shootings because he wasn't in good condition, and he was with his health also not very well. But he's coming through the whole of the film. So I don't know actually. Right now I don't know. Is he alive or what? That sort of I lost with him the contact. But we were really good friends also with him. The second question you had also. The second question?
The second question was to our cinematographer that I was actually discussing with my cinematographer friend which lenses you were using mostly, like
Compact frames. Size compact frames.
Zeiss compact frames. Okay, I'll tell him. I wasn't right, he wasn't right either. But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I hope you will enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy.
Enjoy the screening.
Thank you. And we have on Facebook we have our page, The Last Relic. So please go there. We always post a lot of information about the film and how it's going, and probably you can also share this information with your friends, and people will come to see the film because it's summer coming, and we know it's a very bad time to come out with a film, but we should have to do it. Yeah, thank you very much.